Welcome to the Michigan Golfer Show. Join us each week as we explore the people, the places, and the events that shape our great game.
I'm Jack Berry, and with the Michigan Golfer television show, and today we are very fortunate to have, it's Buick Open time, and so we've got Gene Bone, who is intimately involved in the Buick Open, played in the first one, played in several after. He was the golf professional at Warwick Hills. Let's talk about back in those days, Gene, and what was it like? What was Warwick Hills like? What was that first Buick like?
Wow, well, that was my first head pro job, and it was certainly one that I look forward to, and very happy to get that position.
But the first Buick was 1958, and you played in it, right. And that was obviously the historic start of, we're into the 50th year and 50th anniversary of it. Right. And Billy Casper won that. Tell us a little bit about that. There was a little rain there, and how was it to play there?
Well, the rain has been associated with Buick Open for a couple of years there. But it was a tough playing, and the pros found it. I 284, 285, Billy had that year, but it wasn't very low. And they got better as the course got better. The scores got a little better too, but it was a difficult golf course. Like I said, it was 72-80 was the actual yardage on the scorecard, and they always made a point of that. I forgot about the 80. But it was a very difficult course and long, because you could hit. At that time, the pros were hitting fairway woods into a number of the pros anyway, into some of those par fours, because it was awful long.
I think 16 was over 600 yards at the time, and that was the longest hole. Do you remember what you hit there?
Well, I know I hit a couple of woods and then maybe a 9-iron or a wedge, so it was long enough for me, that's for sure. 600 yards was awful long at that time.
And what about your performance in that first Buick?
Well, I don't recall. I think I snuck in. I think I won a couple dollars, I think, or something. And if I remember right, $110 or something, Jack?
Well, let's see. It's $110, and you played with those in the years that you tied with Walter Berkemo, Gene Littler. There's two major championship winners, Johnny Pott, Paul Harney, who was a real good player. So that was a terrific field.
That was in deep cotton, that's for sure. Those were great players at that time, and great, nice gentlemen, and it was a pleasure to play with them. But it was a big thrill for me, that's for sure.
Well, then in 1960, Buick, 2 years later, you tied for 13th with Bob Golby and won $1,125. What was that like in those days?
That was pretty difficult for the club pro to finish that good. With though we had some great committees at the Buick Open and took care of everything, and I didn't have to do much except maybe say hello to people and keep everything going good. But I was very fortunate. Evidently, I must have made a few putts to win that kind of money, that's for sure.
Well, I think you certainly had to make the putts. And there was even one year in 1962 where they didn't pay even if you made the cut, you didn't get paid all the way down. And you were down in some pretty good company down there at the bottom and didn't get a nickel for the week.
Right. At that time, when I was playing, back to those days, you only had so many money spots. If you finish outside of that, you come up empty, even though you played 4 days.
What was it like then that you get a taste of the tour playing in those Buick Opens, and then you went out on the tour?
Right. Of course, it was a lifetime ambition since a youngster, to play the tour, but I didn't realize all the involvement in that, being away from home and expensive too. But I had some nice members of Warwick that wanted to start me on the tour, and we got about 9 of us all together, including me, and formed a little group and give me that chance to play. And I enjoyed it. I got a great experience, but that's a tough life out there.
Now, how did you get around? You didn't have the private jets that they have today, probably. What was the transportation, and how much would it cost to be out on the tour?
Well, at that time, not compared today, but you're talking anywhere from $12, $13, $15,000 for me, which at that time was a lot of money. Nowadays, that's probably about a week. But I got by, and of course the prices all over were. I didn't stay at the highest class motels, but we got by and enjoyed ourselves, and that was the main thing. So,
Would you room with anybody, or do you drive, or how'd you get around those at that time?
I would drive. I flew a couple times. As one of my sponsors was with United Delco, and sometime I'd have transportation could help me at certain long trips, and that worked out real good. Otherwise, I flew and rented a car, or else I drove myself to where the terminals were fairly close.
Well, I remember especially in those early Buick days, why everybody got a Buick. It seemed like, certainly for the week of the tournament. And then didn't they, like the top 10 players would usually get a Buick for a year? And the winner, Billy Casper, he got the first Buick, Buick Invicta.
Right, and of course, remember when the first hole-in-one. Remember Jerry Barber? Jerry Barber got a hole-in-one that first year, and he won a new Buick and on 17 there. But Buick has been very kind to the golfers and through these years, and of course the Buick Open was great for the community. There's no question about it. When they had at the beginning, when they started, you could get in for $1, and that was pretty good. Nowadays, I think it's a little bit more than that.
Yeah, but fortunately, it's not a heck of a lot more. They've always done a good job of keeping it down and being a great civic event, not only for the Flint and Grand Blanc area, but for all of Michigan and over in Ontario too.
Okay, the first photograph we have here is me standing in front of the 18th green, posing here with one of our caddies from the Buick Open. Many years ago, I did a little 5-minute show, give golf instructions at Channel 12 in Flint, and I had to get up there early in the morning. We did it for a few weeks, and about 8 weeks or something like that.